What's up guys, welcome to the channel, welcome back to the channel. This is Living in Morris County, and today I'm going to be talking about the different parks in Randolph, New Jersey and what each of them have to offer. Stay tuned to find out which one is my absolute favorite after living here for 3 years. My name is Kevin Saum, and each week I bring you videos about moving to or living in Morris County and the surrounding areas. I'm also a licensed real estate agent in the state of New Jersey, so as much as I like making these videos, I would like even more to help you with those real estate needs. So that number popping up below, feel free to give me a call or shoot me a text, and I'd be glad to answer any questions that you have. Now, I'm currently walking the path that connects Heistein Park to Veterans Community Park in Randolph, and these are both located in the Ironian section of town. Now, some nearby neighborhoods are the Mendham Lake Estates, Kings Ridge, and the Dawson Brook townhome community are all within like walking distance or a very short ride to both of these parks. Now, this also is a part of the Randolph Trails, which, you know, I probably sound like a broken record at this point. The Randolph Trails are about 16 miles worth of trails that connect parks like these, communities, different neighborhoods, and the school system as well. So really, one of my favorite parts about living in Randolph is the fact that these trails are here. Now, to explain a little bit about the parks themselves, Heistein Park is more of like an athletic fields park. It's got a bunch of soccer fields, lacrosse fields, little league fields, softball fields, and it's really not like a destination that you're going to go to if you're not attending one of those games at a field in this park. It has a pretty sorry looking playground, which to be honest looks like something that you have a kid playing a little league game and your other kid's like bouncing off the walls because, you know, they can't sit still. There's a little playground for them to potentially expend some energy, but from the looks of it, they might only have about 5 minutes there before they get bored. But anyway, there's also a pond which we're coming up onto now. I don't know if you can see it yet, but there's a pond there. You can go fishing, maybe bring the fishing poles for that lacrosse game for the other kids to keep them occupied. There's also potential for skating. There's cars. Gotta look both ways. Ooh, that was a hybrid too. Can't even hear those. All right, crossing Dobie Road to Heistein Park. Now, it's pretty warm out here. It's September 9th right now at the moment, and it's still pretty warm here in New Jersey. But as far as Heistein Park goes, there's also a picnic pavilion. I think there's a snack stand, there's some bathrooms, but all in all, I personally think it's probably the least interesting park in Randolph. Now, Veterans Community Park, which I was just coming from, they've got the town garden there. So say your house doesn't kind of afford a space, or you don't like the aesthetic of having a garden at your house, or you don't have the utilities, or I don't know, maybe you don't have enough sun in your backyard. There's definitely plenty of sun here. I don't know if you can tell by the sweat on my forehead, but there's a lot of sun. But they have the town garden. There's also an amphitheater, which was pretty cool. In the summer, they had an event called Arts in the Park. They had live music in that amphitheater. There was a little craft show. They had Zigmeister beer. There was stuff for the kids. There was a couple games that the kids could play. Really cool event. Also really hot that day as well. And then as far as Veterans Community Park goes, in addition to that, I think the main attraction for Veterans Community Park is the pickleball courts. I've got some friends that are pretty big pickleballers, and they all rave about the pickleball courts at Veterans Community Park. And it's I think it's the newest park in Randolph, so obviously the courts are very new themselves, so that might be one of the attractions or draws to that. But all in all, beautiful park, brand new, clean looking bathrooms if you're ever in a pinch. But yeah, really a really cool park. So I'm gonna be making my way back to my car right now, and we're gonna be going to Randolph Lake, which is kind of Randolph's version of a community pool. So stay tuned. All right guys, so I just pulled into Randolph Lake Park. It is after Labor Day, so the beach is closed, but I'm gonna get some drone footage for you guys so you can see what it's all about. Now, as far as location goes, we're technically in the Victory Garden section of Randolph, most directly close to Roxbury. And the Red Barn restaurant's right down the road. Mari's Bicycles off of Route 10 is right down the road. But as far as like a neighborhood that you can actually walk to the beach, it's not really, it's few and far between. It's pretty much these houses that are along this road behind me. Now, for pricing, you're looking at $10 for non-residents for the day, $5 for residents for the day, and there's also seasonal membership options as well that run you about $150. Now, this could be a great option for a triathlete looking to train. I don't think they're up now, but they have lap lanes, and then you can actually get like, you know, open water swimming practice if that's your jam. I know my neighbor takes his dog here to get some energy out as well. There's also a couple of baseball fields here, so maybe you got a kid playing baseball, you want to hit up the beach with the other kids, that's also an option. But really a great lake and a great park. Here there's a basketball court. I think they have like sprinklers for the kids as well. But if maybe a lake isn't for you, another option that isn't in Randolph, it's in Morris Township technically, is Streeter Pool. And my wife and I actually are members of that pool as well. She's been going there for years because she's from Morristown. And for a lot of Randolph residents, it's less than 10 minutes away. So if Randolph doesn't have a pool to offer you that you want, there are options nearby, especially if you live in the Shongum area, very close to Streeter. So next up, I'm going to go to Freedom Park and show you what's going on there. Got the Randolph trails behind me. We're in the Shongum section of town, so you can actually walk to Shongum Lake from these trails right behind me. And as you can see, there's also a little sign here that says Coyote Area. Now, I bring this up because if you live in Morris County, there's a good chance that you're going to see a lot of wildlife, particularly in Randolph and particularly in this area of Randolph. There have been some coyote encounters in the past, so they put a little warning out just to make sure that you have your head on a swivel. Now, this is probably one of the nicest parks in Randolph. Not my favorite, but one of the nicest. I'm gonna keep walking here on the path that eventually will walk you to Brundage Park, which is our next destination. But as you can see, we've got soccer practice going on here, and you can actually access the high school through the Randolph trails from this park as well. And I believe this might actually be a high school practice. But anyway, we got 2 turf fields over here. To my left, above on this hill, there's also some more soccer fields. You got a bathroom here. There's a pavilion. I was walking by before when I parked. There's a company picnic going on in the pavilion. Looks like a good time. A couple baseball fields. But in terms of like a sports mecca, this is like the sports mecca of Randolph. We have really nice basketball courts, which I see people on all the time. And along those lines, this is probably the most popular park that I see. Every time I come here, there's always people here. There's always people playing. They got a huge playground, huge jungle gym. They've got a beach volleyball court, which I have seen people play on in the past as well. And overall, it's just the most traffic here, which if that's what you like, that's cool too. You have people to pick up basketball with, or whatever suits your needs. But I like the fact that there's some nice turf fields, so no matter what the weather is, you can always have a good time. Throw the football, kick the soccer ball around a little bit. But very clean park. Obviously connects to the trails, close to the high school. And in terms of neighborhoods, you're looking at Brundage bungalows are close to here. You could actually walk there. That's where I live. And Corell Estates, a little bit further walk, but you can also technically walk the trails to Freedom Park, and then the Shongum Lates homes, which I had just mentioned. Now, we're gonna finish off our trip with Brundage Park, partially because it's my favorite, partially because I live right down the road, so if I'm gonna end my filming day, that's where I wanna end. So we're gonna go to Brundage Park, and I'll see you there. So I'm going to wrap up today's Randolph's Parks tour with Brundage Park, which is my #1 favorite park in Randolph, and here's why. First, I'm able to walk out of my front door and be in this park in 2 minutes. There's also 4 miles of the Randolph trails in this park alone, and it's all paved. So I can push a stroller and it's not an issue at all. The other part I like about this park is the sheer diversity and the size of the park. So the park has softball fields, it's got lacrosse fields, it's got soccer fields, and they're probably the most square footage of fields in Randolph. There's also tennis courts, there's a skate park, there's Brundage Playhouse, which is a small community theater. They have the biggest playground in town. They've got another pavilion to have picnics at. There's a pond that you can skate and fish at. It's the center of the Randolph Trail, so you can walk west towards the Ironia section through the trails, go to Mount Freedom. You can walk more east towards Freedom Park. I can literally walk to Freedom. I could walk to any part of the trail from my house, which is why if you're into the parks and you like recreation, and that's something that you're looking for in a town, I would look in Randolph for the Brundage Bungalow section, which is where I live, or Corral Estates or Shongum. Those 3 sections of town give you the most access with the least amount of effort to the parks. So to recap today's video, we started off in the Ironia section of Randolph with Heistein Park and Veterans Community Park. Then we went over to the Victory Garden section with Randolph Lake. Then we went to the Shongum section of town with Freedom Park and Brundage Park. And so if you're looking for a home in Randolph and you want to be close to the parks, you're going to want to look in these sections. Now, if you want to further immerse yourself in the Parks and Rec here, you want to specifically look in the Brundage Bungalow section, which I've talked about in previous videos, and the Corral Estates section, and also Shongum Lake. Now, if you stick to these neighborhoods, you'll be able to walk out your door and access pretty much everything that Randolph Parks and Rec has to offer. Now, as I mentioned previously, I'm also a licensed real estate agent in the state of New Jersey, so as much as I like making these videos, I like even more to help you with those real estate needs. So that number popping up below, feel free to give me a call or shoot me a text. I'd be glad to help you move to Morris County, Randolph specifically, or the surrounding areas. Hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned till next time, guys.